Decepticon SKYWARP at your service, sir! Who are you again? What's going on, everybody? Republic Cinema here, and in this video, we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Gamer Edition War for Cybertron SKYWARP. Now, before I continue any further, I just want to point out that I have never played the Cybertron games. I would love to. I do hear they are getting a remaster, and you will be able to play them on 9th generation consoles and not 7th generation consoles. I don't know if it's exclusively on Xbox, because Xbox has the rights to Activision, which has the rights to War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron. However, I'm sure that if you were able to play those games on PS3 and Xbox 360, you can most definitely play them on PS5 and Xbox Series X. Recently, I've heard Xbox is planning on sharing a whole bunch of exclusives to PlayStation and even Nintendo, which sounds interesting Xbox-wise and exciting PlayStation-wise, but let's be honest, that's a different story for now. We're going to be talking about this guy, who's basically just a repaint of that previously reviewed Gamer Edition War for Cybertron Starscream. It's just he's purple, and he does come with a different accessory. We'll get to that later. But before we take a look at SKYWARP, let's take a quick look at his packaging. So starting off, we get this pretty interesting artwork of SKYWARP, as well as a couple of words, names, and logos. On the top is this cool-looking Transformers War for Cybertron logo, and on the bottom is the usual boringness. On the left side is a zoomed-in look at SKYWARP's face. On the right side is a zoomed-out look at Starscream's whole CG artwork, or whatever you call that animation model. And then on the back, you get a little info of what you get inside the packaging. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the box art. Now moving back to the figure. So starting off, the painting and sculpting is pretty good. Again, it's the same mold as Starscream, so there's not really much going on that's different, aside from the paint, of course. You do have some purple parts that are just made out of this purple plastic, and some purple painted parts. Another thing to point out, that whatever was bluish gray on Starscream is now completely black on SKYWARP. Not to mention, these two parts located at the shoulder are painted in this different shade of purple. Also, if you notice with the head sculpt, it does look a little different at the eyes than it did with Starscream. And for Kibble, it's mostly stored in the back, which I believe is totally accurate. After all, when you are playing this game, you are playing on third person, and you do see this back all the time. And for the QC, or at least for my copy, everything seems a little fine. The joints are not too tight, not too loose. If there's one complaint that I have with the QC on my copy, it's that this tends to tab off a little too easily. Aside from that, nothing else seems to be an issue. With that being said, I guess we can move on to accessories now. Starting with this accessory, I think this is a mace of some sort, which does look very identical to Starscream's mace, if you ignore this. All it does is just plug it onto the hand right here, and nothing else. Another thing to point out is that due to the weight of the accessory, it does weigh down the arm just a bit. But for weapon storage, it does tab in onto one of the slots in the back. Also, here's something you can do with this for creativity. If you want, you could take this apart and just plug it on to the hand of SKYWARP, and there you go. You have a goofy gun. I just figured it's worth mentioning. Now, unlike Starscream, which came with the sniper rifle, SKYWARP comes with a quad missile launcher. You could either have SKYWARP hold the missile launcher like this, or this, which does come out as looking a little ugly. The slots on the front are blast effect compatible, and for weapon storage it does go over here, but you're probably wondering where to store the arm, which I have no clue. Other than doing this, maybe? Ugh. Anyways, I think that's far as accessories go. Now let's move on to articulation. Starting off ball joint at the head, which allows the head to look up and down, and swivel. The back wings can flap from side to side, full rotation at the arm, bend at the shoulder, bicep swivel, double bend at the elbow, wrist swivel, waist swivel, legs can spread, leg can move forward, and move backwards, thigh swivel, bend at the knee, the foot is on a pivot joint, and I'm not sure if this counts or not, but the front toe of the foot can move forward and backwards. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for articulation. Now moving on to size comparison. Starscream, Megatron, Barricade, Decepticon Soldier, or Bob, Jerry, Gavin, I forgot. And then for some Autobots, here he is next to Optimus Prime, Ratchet, Sideswipe, Cliffjumper, Bumblebee, and lastly, here he is next to the Studio Series Bumblebee movie, SKYWARP. And yeah, I think that's just about it for size comparison. Now let's move on to transformation, which is a little interesting. But to start off, we're going to work on the back. straighten out the wings, untab this, bring it all the way down, and then leave it there like so. Same thing for the other side, because after that you're going to want to make the attempt of rotating these, and then make sure they close in onto each other. Untab this whole section, move this black piece out, and then collapse all of this back inwards. After that, bring the backpack out, rotate this, and leave it right there. Same thing for the other side. And I believe the backpack is done. Moving on, what you're going to do is fold these in, untab this, untab all of this, flip open the nose, leave that like so. Bring this whole neck out, straighten it out like so, and then push it in, and then close all of this up. Then straighten the front of the jet outwards like so. After that, shift the arm inwards, move it up like so, shift this whole assembly inwards, and then bring this whole thing down. Same thing for the other side, and then make sure that the two arms tab in together. Hopefully your copy doesn't protest against that like mine does. Oh yeah, don't forget about this too. Now it's time to work on the legs. Starting off, fold in the front toe, untab this panel, and move it out until it tabs in right there. Untab all of this, and then shift it forwards as well until it just closes in right there. After that, bring the side fin out. Same thing for the other leg. And then after that, bring this whole backpack down. Make sure it tabs in onto that. You might also want to bring down these wings just a tad bit. And here you have SKYWARP in his jet mode, which in my opinion is a really goofy jet mode, especially if there's this weird crack. I think that's meant to be there. If so, then that's an odd designing choice for the jet mode. But hey, you can't go wrong with the Decepticon logos in the wings and even the tail fin, right? Is that what that's called? For weapon storage, it's pretty much the same. You could also do that old rear defense trick if you know what I'm talking about. Also, do you happen to notice these slots on the back of the jet? Yeah, they're blast effect compatible. But now for some brief size comparisons with the alt modes. Here he is next to Starscream's alt mode and Megatron's. And then here he is next to Starscream and Megatron's alt mode, which of course they all look pretty good together. As goofy as these jet modes are, I still can't wait to see the full squadron of jets. Remind me not to use another Star Wars reference. Leave a comment down below which jet mode strikes you the most. And I think that's pretty much it. I think that's all I have to say for the Studio Series Gamer Edition War for Cybertron SKYWARP. Overall, he's pretty good. He's a pretty good repaint. I definitely recommend this if you're looking to complete the current team of Gamer Edition War for Cybertron Decepticons. If you are looking to pick this figure up, he is available over at Amazon and I think the retail stores as well. I could be wrong on that. Be sure to let me know in the comments if you guys have spotted this figure at retail stores. Now, so far I believe I've reviewed 4 out of the 6 new figures from Wave 1 of Studio Series for 2025. I haven't reviewed 86 Galvatron or that new Bumblebee movie Bumblebee just yet. As for Bumblebee, I'm still waiting on him. My pre-order for him on Amazon did get delayed till August. And I'm not going to review 86 Galvatron just yet. I was thinking of doing a 2-part review of him compared to the 86 Megatron, because why not? So I guess till then, can't wait for Wave 2. Wave 2 is pretty exciting, actually. But again, that's a whole nother story for another review for another time. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about this figure. Do you like him? Are you going to pick him up? Do you not like him? Are you not going to pick him up? And with that being said, if you like what you saw in this video, be sure to slam that like button, share this with your friends as well, turn on post notifications so that way you don't miss another upload. Let me know how I did in this video. And most importantly, be sure to hit that big red subscribe button. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you very much for watching. Teo!